What if the most brutal chemical weapon on Earth wasn't engineered inside a human laboratory, but programmed as a biological malware hiding right beneath a wasp's wing? Right now, a nanoscale digital matrix bombardment is executing. Prepare to enter nature's darkest chemical warfare arena, where death is explicitly programmed by mathematics. Welcome to One Big Question. Today, we infiltrate nature's darkest laboratory to decrypt an advanced weaponry matrix. Face the master of destruction's source code, the Wasp, a biological entity commanding flawless neural network shattering algorithms. Deep within its body lies a chemical factory operating at peak capacity, curing highly toxic molecular complexes that defy all biological firewalls. Security Target Lock Protocol. The Predator's visual processing array scans the prey's epidermis, locating perfect coordinates for a close-range strike. Stinger Engineering Blueprint. This weapon transcends a crude needle. It operates as a nano-hydraulic cylinder framework driven by maximum compressed fluid pressure. Thunderous kinetic injection. In a mere hundredth of a second, the latch snaps open, launching the stinger to puncture the epidermal defense grid with reflex-shattering kinetic energy. Exploding the payload discharge command. Highly toxic fluid releases aggressively from the stinger tip, flooding intracellular space like data encrypting malware. Meet the Trailblazing malware, the Hyaluronidase enzyme. Overlays decrypt this protein megastructure, activating a firewall destruction protocol. Bio-cement liquefaction algorithm. Hyaluronidase instantly assaults, severs the bonds of hyaluronic acid, the binding glue of organic cells. The security perimeter undergoes domino collapse. Intercellular spaces tear open aggressively, constructing an empty logistics corridor for the toxin influx. And now, the ultimate weapon of mass destruction officially reveals itself. The Melittin peptide chain. Millions of nano-assassins land on the battlefield at lightning speeds. Exclusive amphipathic electrical blueprint. The Melittin string commands a positively charged hydrophilic end and a hydrophobic tail, converting it into a bipolar mechanical blade. Target locked. The cell's phospholipid bilayer. The nano-assassin automatically rotates its spatial axis, advancing to locate destruction coordinates with zero latency. Conformational shift geometry cut. From a random coil, Melittin suddenly folds into a rigid alpha-helix chain, sharp as an advanced steel drill bit. The digital matrix bombardment initiates. Alpha drills insert vertically into the protective envelope, violently fracturing lipid polymer bonds at breakneck speeds. System puncturing algorithm. The fortified cell membrane bends brutally, engineering colossal, unpatchable structural holes named toroidal pores. Pressure blockade protocol permanently collapses. Potassium ions and water flash outward uncontrollably, completely fracturing the homeostasis equilibrium. Pause for a second to think with us. Can nature's most brutal weapon be converted into a life-saving remedy? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to continue decrypting the Grand Matrix. Returning to the destruction matrix.
Critical strain.
Nano-mechanical age-gauge graphics display the cell swelling aggressively under osmotic pressure, outrunning material endurance thresholds. Cellular detonation node officially triggers. The fortress shatters. The intracellular entity explodes brilliantly like a dying star, releasing a molecular waste torrent. Dual detonation multiplier effect. The phospholipase A2 enzyme. This catalytic machine swarms the ruins, fracturing lipid ester bonds. Arachidonic acid cascade activation schematic. The framework converts matter into prostaglandin molecules. The master cryptography code triggering massive intense inflammation. Concurrently, the histamine payload directly assaults capillary receptors, forcing vessels to dilate to peak limits, flooding the sector with thermal blood current. False alarm command sequence. Toxin molecules lock onto the neural fibers' TRPV1 thermal sensors, cracking and manipulating the information transmission grid. Thousands of false alarm electrical impulses flood the brain server, compiling a violent phantom illusion of burning despite zero actual flames existing. The localized tissue fortress experiences a domino collapse. Metabolic networks disconnect permanently, blockading all of the host's emergency repair protocols. The Wasp pilot launches away from the arena with pride, completely disconnecting from the destruction zone engineered by its own algorithm. The biosecurity perimeter fractures entirely at a tissue level. Yet nature never writes a command sequence dedicated to mindless slaughter. Shifting from the dirt arena, the lens slides into a modern sterile laboratory, where human engineers decode this malware complex. Molecular source code reprogramming engineering. Scientists modify Melittin's amino acid sequences, transforming the cell-deleting blade into a smart weapon. The grand future security patch glows. The reprogrammed malware will exclusively gridlock and puncture cancer membranes, preserving healthy tissue. Our prejudice codes it as poison, yet creation defines it as energy. When placed within the correct coordinate of realization, the most brutal weapon converts into a saving remedy. The biological order and molecular symphony will eternally flow. Thank you for cracking this grand survival matrix with one big question. Leaving the aerial arena of winged assassins, the toxic matrix guides us to the dirt, where a heavy-duty mechanical engineer lies in ambush. Face the artillery king of the insect world, the Bombardier Beetle, an organism commanding the planet's most advanced thermodynamic reactor. Outrunning close-range injection frameworks, this creature operates a long-range weapon system, secured by twin isolated chemical storage vaults. Storage Vault Number 1, Hydroquinone Source Code. Overlays decrypt the stable benzene ring architecture, confining high chemical potential electrons. Storage Vault Number 2, Hydrogen Peroxide, a powerful oxidizing compound, perpetually primed to discharge free radicals and detonate a chain reaction. In static state, these twin payloads coexist with peak stability, blockading all self-detonation risks via built-in security inhibitors. Threat variable emerges. A massive predator advances, triggering an emergency alert pulse along the artillery Beetle's neural network. Firing protocol initialization. Nanomechanical valves lined with load-bearing chitin snap open, forcing twin chemical currents into the central reactor. Welcome to the dark reactor, where catalase and peroxidase enzymes lie in ambush as advanced hardware catalysts. Thunderous molecular cracking. The catalase enzyme assaults, severing hydrogen peroxide bonds, violently discharging free oxygen atoms. Peak exothermic reaction. The reactor temperature instantly leaps to a crisp 100 degrees Celsius, boiling the solution within a microsecond. Advanced chemical algorithm. Concurrently, hydroquinone undergoes aggressive oxidation, converting into p-quinose, a highly corrosive toxic compound. Vapor pressure compresses to peak limits. Strain gauge graphics display the reactor walls swelling violently, converting into a reverse detonation pressure vessel. Launchpad alignment. The Beetle's abdominal tip rotates 360 degrees like a tank turret, grid-locking the enemy's security coordinates with zero latency. Fire. The boiling toxic acid and high-concentration vapor spray aggressively into the predator's face at the speed of kinetic artillery. Pulse jet engineering. Eschewing a continuous stream, this weapon detonates at 500 pulses per second, preventing reactor self-destruction from overheating. The predator's defense wall is completely cracked. Corrosive p-quinone acid paired with 100 degrees Celsius heat blockades all offensive reflexes. The arena floods with sterile toxic smoke. The artillery Beetle installs an absolute security perimeter, repelling all survival threat variables. The tiny mechanical engineer calmly retreats, proving the ultimate dominance of a perfectly programmed thermodynamic weapon system. Shifting from the mud, the lens slides into a modern sterile laboratory, where aerospace engineers decode this mechanical matrix. Advanced biomimicry application. Humanity copies the Beetle's pulse jet algorithm to configure high-efficiency rocket fuel injection systems. Future tech patch glows. This micro-pressure compression apparatus inspires the curing of needle-free nanomedical injectors. Another grand paradox of the toxic matrix, the searing energy that destroys prey, unlocks a fresh chapter for zero-emission green engine engineering. Yet the insect toxin realm never terminates at raw physical or thermal assaults. It operates with a far more insidious sophistication. Enter the territory of psychological manipulators, the Monarch caterpillar, an entity that cracks plant toxin algorithms for self-weaponization. Assimilation target, the milkweed plant. Its white sap houses a highly toxic payload named Cardenolides, a potent cardiac glycoside. Cardenolides molecular structure graphics. This compound functions as a target lock command, designed to crack the sodium-potassium pump on host heart membranes. Despite surrounding toxins, the Monarch caterpillar calmly devours the leaf, running a pre-installed antitoxin protocol inside its genome. Genetic security patch. The caterpillar's DNA source code substituted twin amino acids at the sodium-potassium pump site, completely neutralizing the toxin's lock joint capability. Bio-Accumulation algorithm. Instead of degradation, the caterpillar routes the entire toxin payload into secure storage vaults along its skin. Purging variable detonates. A native bird strikes the caterpillar, accidentally exploding the compressed Cardenolides payload packed inside the skin. Post-cardiac cracking protocol. The toxin floods in, gridlocking sodium-potassium pumps, collapsing the bird's heart rate metrics into red alert status. Violent emesis triggers in a split second. The bird's neural network logs a horrific error response code. Never touch this specific green interface again. Aposematism concept visual broadcasting of toxic payloads. Nature borrows visual fields to blockade all raw conflict risks from a distance. From 100 degrees Celsius reactors to bioaccumulation matrices, toxin remains a supreme governance language. Continue decrypting the next grand codes with one big question. Yet the most brutal, sophisticated apex of the toxic matrix bypasses physical combustion or cell lysis. It resides in the mind control hijacking protocol. Enter the territory of the darkest neural hacker, the emerald cockroach wasp, a biological entity specialized in cracking megahost nervous networks. Infiltration target, the cockroach, an organism wielding hypersensitive escape reflexes, yet primed to convert into an unconscious, enslaved command line. Neural strike number 1. The wasp advances, anchoring its stinger precisely into the thoracic ganglion, injecting a temporary paralysis payload to gridlock mechanical frameworks. Fatal penetration number 2. As the host freezes, the wasp calmly repositions, navigating its microneedle to drill straight through the skull to access the brain server. Cognition cracking payload, a chemical cocktail of GABA and Taurine. This specialized malware operates as a Neuro-Electrical impulse disconnect relay. Blockade target, the octopamine receptor network, the command sequence driving the cockroach's motivation and escape reflexes. Toxin floods in, gridlocking transmission nodes. Living zombie protocol initialized. The cockroach remains fully awake, limbs completely unparalyzed, yet the will to escape command sequence is deleted from the OS. The neural hacker grasps the host's antenna, leading it like an obedient pet. The predator guides this orphaned command line straight to its dark bunker. Ruthless parasitoid programming. An egg is anchored onto the cockroach, converting the living host into a sterile energy logistics vault for the next generation. As the larva hatches, it drills into the viscera, consuming fat bodies down to the least critical tissue segments, keeping the host breathing until the final second. Dark system purge. As the larva matures to pupate, the cockroach framework officially shuts down permanently, terminating an epic loop of enslavement. A pristine emerald super warrior tears out of the shell into the light, wielding a successfully replicated invasion source code, primed for a fresh cycle. From the wasp's combustion to the artillery beetle's 100 degrees Celsius blast and the wasp's brainjacking matrix, toxin remains creation's supreme governance weapon. Yet one big question's programming matrix never halts at raw slaughter. The lens slides directly into a hyper-modern biotechnological laboratory. Here, genetic engineers run algorithms to isolate the very neuroblocking molecules of wasps to analyze their source code. Salvation target, the broken human nervous system, where motor electrical impulses collapse into chaos due to Parkinson's or epilepsy anomalies. Reprogramming the neural malware protocol. Humanity modifies the toxin's molecular architecture, converting memory enslavement commands into an intelligent security patch. Injected into the patient, the reprogrammed toxin instantly gridlocks hyperactive electrical storms in the brain, extinguishing violent seizure impulses. System restoration signal. The patient's shaking hand unexpectedly freezes, returning motor metrics to a smooth dynamic equilibrium like a miracle. Furthermore, the toxin-accumulating codes of caterpillars inspire the configuration of next-generation, non-addictive pain-killing matrices. A grand epic paradox of the biosphere, the very weapon engineered to destroy and strip life, operates as the ultimate life raft for humanity's rebirth. Creation never harbors favoritism, nor does it write a solitary command sequence that is redundant or absolutely toxic inside the planetary OS. Human consciousness prejudice codes it as poison, yet the cosmos lens defines it as harmonic notes regulating the grand flow of entropy. When you bravely bypass raw external fear and look deep into the source code core, you realize every fracture embeds a pre-installed healing protocol. Your inner security framework operates similarly. The fiercest pain and trials function as the necessary payload forcing your soul to evolve. A perfect unification matrix of creation. From a micropeptide inside a stinger to the remote matrix of stars, all connect back to a central host server. The universe conceals thousands of toxic codes yet uncracked, grand mysteries awaiting future engineering generations to decode and unfetter. Maintain a curious consciousness, an absolute piercing view to realize the pristine, sterile beauty hidden behind life's most brutal interfaces. The 1,000-mile journey across the insect-toxic matrix closes, leaving a profound breakthrough and ultimate serenity inside your soul. So, what is the next one big question for you? Do we dare face our inner darkness to locate our very own rebirth light? One big question decoding wonders, creating the future. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to never miss the next grand masterwork. Our knowledge internet grid expands toward infinity every day, driven by your ideal companionship and synchronization. Broadcast this energy current to souls searching for realization and healing out there, together clearing all system error shadows. Information transmission protocol finalized. Every subscribe node operates as a firm anchor, keeping our knowledge fortress enduring aggressively. Always remember, beneath the crudest, most toxic interfaces always lies concealed a perfect mathematical blueprint of great Mother Nature. Life will continuously play its immortal symphonies inside the dark soil, silent yet fierce and pristine. Security routing locked tight. The organic reactor finalizes its fuel loading cycle, settling the entire framework into a safe, predictable status. The future of medicine and quantum biotechnology glows brilliantly, welcoming humanity's next pioneering footsteps. Closing today's episode's scientific log. May your consciousness remain forever healed and piercing through every transformational cycle of reality. No entity is abandoned. Zero variables are meaningless inside the supreme sovereignty matrix of Great Mother Nature. The final drop of Venom falls, converting into a prism reflecting the entire nano-realm's tech epic beauty. Evolution operates as an infinite fractal loop. The system continuously self-patches, self-upgrades, and architects more perfect survival chapters. Thank you for watching. One Big Question is proud to operate as your companion on the journey to unfetter and decode reality's grand code. Security target lock protocol activated. Broadcasting sequence finalized. See you in the next earth-shattering knowledge epics.